Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Darkness Unveils, where tonight we have Liam Gray on from his paranormal group New Dawn Paranormal. We've been friends now for a couple of years, and genuine down to earth bloke. But I wanted to get him on the show just to get his side of the paranormal and delve a little bit deeper how he got into it. So Liam, if you just want to introduce yourself, mate, and tell everybody who you are and what your team's called and where you're from.
Hi guys, I'm Liam. I'm New Dawn Paranormal and I'm based in Northumberland.
Nice. So obviously we've worked together in the past, and we've had some good times on different paranormal investigations. But what would you say got you into it first? Like, what was your real experience to make you believe in the paranormal?
My dad, probably. When I was younger, I used to go on ghost hunts with him when I came up on holidays and stuff. Um, and obviously you had all the most haunteds on the telly and stuff.
Yeah,
So watching them and going with my dad, and yeah, it just kind of stuck, and it's always been a hobby, like.
yeah.
But never once did I think I'd have my own team. To be fair.
So is that your own team? Is that developed from your dad doing it then, is it?
Yeah, well, me and my dad was part of a team, Northumberland Ghost Hunters. Um, and we went to the Schooner Hotel one night in Almouth, which is meant to be the most haunted hotel in the UK.
Right.
And we went there, and the rest of them were on the pints of Guinness and stuff. And my dad just looked at me and he went, "Nah, we need to set up ourselves." So we came up with the idea of New Dawn being you're leaving one team to set yourself up. So it's a new dawn, new era sort of thing.
New start, yeah.
And I knew my dad, obviously, things were going to be pretty good. So I bit the bullet. We came up with a plan, started booking in locations. As you know, he just died suddenly in the January before we were meant to start the investigations. So my first thing was shut the New Dawn page down on Facebook. I sold all his equipment. And I thought, nah, I'm not doing it out with my dad. But then there was just something niggling in the back of us. It was like I was chomping at the bit there. I
To
think,
get
you
out
know
there.
what? Yeah, to get back out there, yeah. Here we are, mate. As they say, the rest is history.
Yeah, so I think I've seen a couple of clips of your dad
Yeah,
himself doing he was kind of like a medium.
he
Is
was,
that
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
correct,
I've
mate, yeah.
seen some clips of him, and his work's really good, like what he'd done.
He was
And I
spot
could
on there.
see where you get your passion from. So yeah, it's always interesting. When I first started our team, it was a bit like iffy. Do you do it? Do you not? And
Yeah.
it's like, nah, just go for it and see where you head and
There's
see where it
times when I
lands you.
think, oh, I could just end it and that's it, stop it. But then it pulls you back.
Yeah,
And to be fair, over the past two and a bit years, some of the evidence we've caught, man, you know yourself, like the
yeah.
photo at Army Mills with the arms wrapped around us, the EVPs from East Drive. It just pulls you back.
It does, yeah. It's a bit mental, when you go through the phases of ups and downs, don't you?
Yeah,
It's do you bother that some places are
yeah,
quiet and it's like, is it really happening? And then
yeah.
something just pulls you back, and it's like a new fresh start.
It
Um,
does.
so like we know, like we've gone through it. Like your dad was like the medium side of it. Are you at all? Do you think you're a bit sensitive, or
Well, when I was younger, I came up on a holiday and we did the Schooner Hotel with another team he was with. This is going back years. I must have only been about, I think I was 12, 13. And it was at the Schooner Hotel in Almouth. And a woman took a photo of me sat next to my dad. And this woman was a medium for the night. And there was a massive green and red light on my chest, like orbs, if you will, light anomaly sort of thing.
yeah?
And she said to us, "You've got the gift, you can do it if you open yourself up." I'm like, "No, you're all right.
Don't want to open that can of worms, don't we?
No, don't open that kind of worms." So I probably could if I put my head to it, but it's not for me. That, like, not for me. That walk into the toilet one night and you see an old woman or something. You know what I mean? It's nah. And my bags would be packed. I'd be sleeping in my car with cat.
Do you reckon? Yeah.
Absolutely, mate.
Um.
Absolutely.
So, like, I know, like you said, you started off with your dad and done stuff, and you appreciated working with your dad and want to start your own team. But what experience made you believe, like your own personal, like even though you've seen your dad do it, you've seen other people around
Yeah.
your dad do it, what actually made you Pacific? Is it a certain point in time, or you've witnessed anything that
There was
made you
when I
believe?
was at primary school down in Lancashire. I went to my mum to work one night because she was working in the care home where my granddad was. I was sat in his room. All of a sudden, his door opened, and there's a man just stood there staring at us for about 10 seconds, and then vanished. And I'm like, Mum, there was a man stood at the door. And Mum said, "What do he look like?" I described the man to my mum, and my mum said, "Well, that's impossible because that man died, but he died in that room."
So it's somebody that was in that care home then.
Yeah, and that stuck.
Mad.
And like I say, obviously the most haunted stuff, obviously growing up near Pendle Hill, the witches, all that storyline, all that stuff, it just stuck with us and got us like proper interested in it.
Yeah, that's true. It's weird how things happen in it, how
It is,
certain
yeah,
things get you into
yeah,
it, and we're all skeptics to start with,
of course
and
not.
then it's just about opening your mind to it, isn't it? And
It is, yeah,
accept, accepting what it's almost accepting it into your life for you to believe that it is something going on and is something after death, if you like.
yeah.
Um,
Life after death does it exist? Is it not? Is it a figure of
yeah, so like I
imagination?
was, I was, I'm going to do a bit on a podcast about this guy Pittman. I was watching it the other day, and his story was fascinating. Where he
Yeah,
passed away when he was younger. He was running for like sheriff, but he was also training as a pastor on the night time and stuff like that. But he passed away, and he talks about how he went from darkness to light and different levels of like heaven and hell, if you like,
yeah,
and what he describes as angels showed him. And it was like it was mad how his story goes. I won't go into it, but I'm going to try and get that up on there and try and see if I can get it on a podcast and
yeah,
get that story out there. But if you get a chance, I'll send it you after this. Then
yeah. No, isn't it?
just
Yeah.
have a look at it. Listen, his story's fascinating. So you've been to a number of locations. We've worked together a number of locations. What place specifically would you say has been probably one of your active or most scariest place that you'd probably second think twice about going back to?
To be fair, the place that rattles me every time we're there, and you've been with us a couple of times, is Jedburgh Castle.
Yeah.
Um, Scariest place, I'd probably say Jedburgh Castle, the men's cell block.
Yeah, it's something about that block, isn't there?
Well, the first time you came up to Jedburgh Castle with us, and the table, something dragged across the floor upstairs,
Yeah,
and we got that EVP. Do you know you're dead? Never. And then
man.
obviously what happens with Mike.
Yeah.
Um,
Mike seems to be a target, bless him, doesn't he?
he does, yeah. Well, it's funny because we're going back to Wright and Masonic Hall next Saturday.
Yeah.
The first time he went mental, banged on the table, turned that off. The St. Archangel Michael prayer in line. Second time I was ill. Next thing I'm getting phone calls. Mike's collapsed. He's had to be carried down the stairs out of the Masonic Hall. I'm like, so what can be so bad this third time?
Do
He
you, do you
starts
reckon
playing in the
Mike would
wall.
be a bit of a sensitive then?
I think he's just
More
open,
open to it?
more open to it. You've
Yeah.
seen him at Jedburgh, Charlie. 1 minute
Yeah.
you've got to
He's
know the
there.
Mike that we all
Yeah.
know, and then when he goes off it, and my wife laughs at it because she's like, "That's mad. That's not Mike." And the first time at Jedburgh, I remember him. We're trying to take him out down the cell block, and he was growling at you.
Yeah.
I'm like, That's not make that.
It is madness, isn't it? It's
There is
weird
part
what
of
you
you that don't
witness
know
on
whether to
these nights.
laugh
Like,
or cry when he starts going on a mad one. Like
yeah, it is me. It is weird what some
it's definitely
places
weird.
do to you, like what they do to
Absolutely,
affect you.
absolutely.
So obviously, I know we use equipment. We use different equipment. What would you say of your way of thinking of technology impacts the paranormal? Do you think it works, or do you think relying on old school techniques?
I'd say old school techniques is the way forward.
Yeah,
Technology can only help you so far.
yeah,
Technology can't dictate how you're feeling, how your
no,
mood's changing,
yeah,
what's affecting you. It all relates back to old school, mate.
yeah. It's your senses, isn't it? At the end of the day,
It is, of course it is, yeah.
yeah.
Good old notepad, pen. Job's a good one.
Mate, I just love a bit of audio. I do.
Absolutely. That EVP at East Drive we got.
Yeah, it's just mad. The audio side of it is what I tend to rely on a lot more now.
Yeah, of
Don't get me wrong. We use the K2s; they can easily be debunked.
course
Cat
can.
balls,
Yeah,
vibration.
yeah,
REM pods. Unless you're getting intelligent responses that
yeah,
are answering to you, then yeah, fair enough. Like I'm up for using any equipment.
yeah,
But yeah, like you say, going back to old school, using your own senses, even just an EVP for audio, asking questions and getting
yeah.
that response back, for me, that just justifies what you're looking for.
Well, of course
Like,
it does. And you
yeah,
see teams rely too much on the technology.
yeah,
And at the end of the day, that technology is just there. You've got to take it in consideration what's around it, what's setting it off, what could be
yeah,
setting it off.
yeah.
And
It's
it's
madness,
just
mate.
one of them, and it's a catch 22, isn't it?
Yeah, it all depends. I think it all depends on the location you're at as well.
Of
I've
course it
know
does.
certain locations I've been to, they only respond to, they won't use their voice, but they'll respond
Yeah,
to equipment. Like there's one place like Penalan up the road from us. They respond to K2s and REM pods. You put them across a dining table, and there could sit probably 16 people on this dining table. You put your
yeah,
equipment across that table, you ask certain questions, and it'll all light up together. It'll
yeah,
just so that place, it relies on equipment
yeah,
to get your answers. But like we were at Chirk Mill the other night, and we put a camera upstairs at the end of the night and left it. We were speaking through a phone on FaceTime, asking questions. And to be fair, on the phone downstairs, we didn't really think that we were getting much. It was
yeah.
like, crumbly. But when we listened back to the audio off the camera,
Is
like the
this what you put up
DVP
on
and
your
that,
page?
yeah, the
Yeah,
DVP and that,
yeah,
mate, it just answers, and it's
yeah,
even the littlest things. Like one of the guests turned around and said, "I bet you can't knock on the table," almost like mimicking it. And
yeah,
next minute you hear a knock, like as if say, "Well, I can."
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that type of thing for me is just brilliant.
Of course it is. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah,
A simple technique, fun in another place. Job done, isn't it, really?
it is. Yeah, yeah. So going back to locations, if you could go anywhere that you've possibly done previously, but on your own, given a chance, would you do it? And where?
Um, I probably would, but I'd have to have someone to say the location for we're walkie-talkie. But yeah, I think I would. Um, I'd say the Bank House in Barnsley,
Yeah.
Lindsay Steers' place. It's
Is it all right
last
there? Is
time.
it?
Last time we were there, mate. I've had the spirit box on the table. I was sat in the chair. My knee was nowhere near the table. We're talking. Had the two haunted dolls, Scarlet and Louis, on each knee, and the spirit box flies off the table.
I think you put that a clip up, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think it's in the clip.
there's obviously different layers to that. You've got the dining room, whatever you want to call it. Then you go upstairs, and there's all the doll rooms. It's a fast, really good place, mate. But if I
I'll
had
have
to
to have a
do
look
a
at it.
lone solo somewhere, it would be there, mate. Either there or Sunderland Air Museum.
Nice.
Even though I didn't last long on me solo the weekend past in the Air Museum, but yeah,
Was you on a live then?
I was on a live, mate. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
had.
think I jumped in on that one, and I'm sure I heard you say "get me out of here" or something like that. It was like you were getting out of something.
The whole atmosphere just changes in the flick of a button at
Switch.
that air museum. It's hard to say, but it's definitely goes weird quickly, mate.
Get
Very
a lot of
weird.
activity there.
We've never had a bad night there, mate.
Oh, fair play.
We're on about our 20th, 21st investigation there now. All next year's dates are locked in and loaded already.
Fair play,
Um,
mate.
it's just one of them places. It's not expensive. It's good, and even if you're getting out and have a quiet night, there's all the planes to look at and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's always a
Of
fascinating area to look
course
at.
it is. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be one of them two locations, man.
um, so we've talked about obviously locations, technology, etc. Is there any like we've collabed together? We've collabed with Haunted Echoes, stuff like that. Is there anybody out there that you would really like to collab with in a certain location?
Apart
Put
from
you on the
you and
spot,
Hunt, you
there,
put me well on the spot, yeah. You know, we've collabed with a few teams. I'll just put that out there.
don't I?
Um, A Up Spirit Seekers, they're a good team. Daz and Julie from Yorkshire Hull. Yourselves, you know, we collab quite a lot.
Yeah,
I'd say it'd be good to collab on my own with Haunted Echoes.
yeah,
Um, yeah, because obviously at Armley Mills we didn't get a chance to work together.
no,
Um, what a cracking set they are, like absolute cracking team. But yeah, I'd like to
put it
work
out
with
there,
Haunted Echoes. Yeah, ah,
put it out there, give him a message.
see what happens, matey. See what happens. We've got Armley Mills to go again yet, mate.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
And then the prison,
Oh, I.
the prison. Last place I thought I'd ever go back to.
Was it?
Well, when I used to live in Lancashire, I built the parks and all that stuff, laid the rubber
Oh, yeah,
flooring on
I
parks
remember
and
you
stuff.
telling me, yeah.
Well, the green floor on the exercise yard, we actually laid it. I never thought I'd return back to that prison, but here we go. Here we go, matey.
See what we get when we go there, innit?
Absolutely, mate. I've got a full team as well, so I know each and every single one of them are buzzing for it. Like,
Fair play.
just whereas it's just down the road from you, so we think it's
um,
four and a half for us.
yeah, it's about, I'd say probably about an hour and 20 minutes for me.
Yeah, I think it's
Like
four and a
that, or
half for
depending
us.
on traffic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's
So
a couple to look
obviously,
forward to.
you've investigated loads of places and that, and you've witnessed loads of stuff. What's your take on shadow people? So, like, I know we've captured apparitions, like like you said, Army Mill, the arms round you,
Yeah,
and other stuff like that. But like, what do you believe the shadow people are? Do you reckon they're spirits that are lingering, or do you reckon that they've got unfinished business, or are they spirits that are lost?
I'd like to
Because
say they're lingering, but this is a question that I don't think anyone in the paranormal
no,
world will be able to tell you a correct answer to. Lingering around, just smooching around where they used to enjoy being happy, or have they got ulterior motive and want to do something more darker sort of thing? It's a
yeah,
question I don't think anyone could ever answer correctly, mate.
no. See,
And I know
I've always
we
had.
talked about
Go
Army
on, sorry.
Mills there with their arms wrapped around me on that photo. When there's a photo like that, it does make you question it
Yeah,
because the proof's there, and you're like, it just mangles your head a bit because there's not a wrong answer and there's not a correct answer, mate. I don't think.
no. See, like I've always had the intake on it that if I see a spirit and I see the physical body like we are, or transparent but like similar to us, then I always put that to like a spirit that's either got unfinished business or not quite ready to pass on,
Yeah,
and they go in like a residual. They go in from day to day, but then I
yeah,
intake shadow spirits,
yeah,
or like shadow people, if you like. They're lost souls. I
yeah,
take them as I believe that they're stuck, but it's because of something they've done in their past life, and there's no
yeah,
way for them to cross over,
yeah,
and they just like you say linger almost.
yeah. Like I
But
say, I
yeah,
don't think there's a correct answer or a wrong answer for that, mate.
no,
And no matter how many times you investigate, no matter how many shadow things you see, blah de blah, how many you capture on photo, I don't think you'll ever get the correct answer for it, mate.
no, never.
Because one person might say one thing, another might disagree with and say another thing.
Yeah, true. Everybody's got a different take on it, haven't they?
Of course,
We've
that,
all
and
got our own opinions. So
that's the thing in the paranormal world, mate. Everyone has an opinion.
yeah. Sometimes it's not the opinion you want to listen to,
Exactly.
but
But yeah,
they
of
each to their own, innit? They
course
all
it
have
is,
their
mate. Yeah, of course it is.
you let them get on with it, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this question here now, I've heard a lot of it about jumping about from different people, and it's mainly been some about the negative people in the paranormal. So like mental health, you know, we both know we both go through it. We're
Absolutely.
both struggling still the same today. With certain things. I how do you think that has an effect or impact on your mental health in the paranormal?
End of the day, everyone's in the same field. You've got guys, teams think they're better than everyone else, and the truth is, they're not.
No.
When you see plenty of teams on YouTube, for instance, you see them, no names getting chucked in the mix here, like, but I think we know who. Oh, we've got this most haunted doll, we've got this, blah, blah, blah. You haven't. There's other items such as dolls, which I know you like a good doll, Charlie. It's the same again, Catch 22. There's never a right answer or a wrong answer.
No.
But obviously, for some people with the egos, put it out there, oh yeah, they're the best, they're doing great, this, that, and other. And like small teams, it impacts because they're watching this and hearing all this. And you know what I mean? It does play
Yeah,
obviously
like,
a part on
it's
your mental well being, to be fair, because you think, well, what can I do better? What can you do? Do this,
yeah,
do that. And no, it's just be yourselves. Be yourselves and do what we need to do.
yeah. I've seen it on plenty of occasions, mate. On most people, that like you say, these big teams out there, or as you like, big personalities
Yeah,
that fake everything and get where they need to get up the ladder. They put shit down on people that don't
yeah,
deserve it, and these
of
small
course it is.
teams can get exactly the same, apparitions yourself. You've caught them, I've
Of course
caught them,
you can. Of
other
course you can.
teams have caught them. You put them out there. That's not. But yeah, this person, they would have been in the same place at the same time and catched it,
Of course, well,
because they've
everyone's
got
been in the
that
same spot.
following. It's thingy, and I do think it does have an impact on people, like you said, on their mental health.
Like, doesn't I
It's
think obviously the big question is what you ask yourself is, am I meant to do this sort of thing? Like, and then the
yeah,
doubts creep in. And like I say, a couple of months back, obviously I spoke to you about it. I lost interest in the ghost hunting,
yeah,
and then I started had about a 6 week break. Then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go to the air museum, and I thought, you know what, I'm meant to do this, so why stop it sort of thing.
yeah, true,
But I do think there's a big stigma with men and that and mental health.
yeah,
You know, men are men, they don't cry. Men are men, they don't do that. Just get it out.
yeah,
Get it out
yeah,
and
yeah,
talk.
yeah.
Best thing I ever
It is,
did.
mate. It's a bad society that men can't speak out or feel like they
Horses.
can't speak out.
Horses.
You know, we know we've both been through it. I struggled with it for years, and I think it almost cost me my marriage. But me and Roxanne talked, mate. Not the cat.
Can he ghost hunt on me? My wife jumped. I've just gone like what, and she slipped on the. We've got a little thing for tea bags, and she slipped on that. That put me out racing, I tell you. But yeah, no, there's that stigma over mental health with men. And at the
Yeah,
end of the day, if you let it if you bottle it up like I did, you go on a mad one, nearly lose your marriage. It's not worth it. Just open up and speak.
yeah. It,
Open
it,
up and
it,
speak.
that's what they need to do.
Of course
So
it is.
obviously now going back to obviously paranormal. Now we sidetracked a bit there, but
Yeah.
um, do you think fear in the paranormal has a role to play? In other
Yeah.
words, do I mean like if you think you're scared in a location, or not so much scared, but nervous, anxious, you're in a dark room on your own, you're feeling the atmosphere change. Do you think the fear helps the spirits more, like in the terms of feel more confident to come around you to try and make you scared, or
Going back the last Saturday in the Air Museum when I set off on that lone vigil, I was fine while I was setting all my gear up with Mike. As soon as Mike went out the hangar, shut the door, the whole surroundings changed. And that's when I started like, holy shit, what's going on? And then I started getting responses on Spirit Box. This mental haunted doll was sat in front of us. I'm like, ugh. That put the fear up us as well, because you know what I'm like with dolls. Um, but I do think the fear factor does fuel the spirits.
yeah,
I think it does fuel it.
yeah, definitely. You know yourself, and I think it's also if you have good energy as well. The
Of
people
course.
around you,
Yeah.
they bring the energy. You tend to have a better night. I think tend
Yeah.
to have more activity, don't you?
Of course you do.
Um, So yeah, going off that now, mate. I appreciate you coming on and talking to me.
Anytime, mate. Thank you very much for having us.
It's anytime, mate. Pleasure. Um, anything that you've got coming up that you want to share, or
Obviously, guys, head over to the Facebook page, New Dawn Paranormal. We've got 2 Masonic holes coming up, one after the other in the space of a week, before finishing up at Sunderland Air Museum. And yeah, just that's it, mate.
fair
But it's
play?
always a pleasure to come on and speak to you, mate. You're a good friend, so
Anytime, mate. You know that.
we'll
Anytime.
uh, we'll get some more venues booked in for next year and get you along.
Yeah, I've been looking, mate. I've been looking at castles.
Mm.
A lot of people come on the guest on the night. They said to me, "Oh, I'd love to do castles." So I'm trying to mix
You
it up, but
need
I'm
to
trying to
come to
travel.
Sunderland Air Museum one night.
I'm trying, and that's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm trying to get locations further up that way. It's like I have guests that come all the way from Essex, mate, and it's yeah. So it's like I'm trying to,
Oh,
like, like Suffolk way, Brighton way.
yeah, yeah,
There's a manor house up there I want to do, which is only 2 hours from Essex, which
yeah,
allows them to come a bit closer. So
yeah,
I just want to try and give back to them, if you know what I mean, because
yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah.
they travel, they
Um,
book hotels, they do you know what I mean? So
Of
it's
course I do, yeah. But yeah, Sunderland Air Museum. Just let me know, mate. I'll message you the dates over
you'll have
there.
to drop me some dates,
I'll
what you
drop you
got.
the dates for all of next year that I've got booked
Yeah, and
in,
then I'll have a look what I'm on
and
next
then
year
we'll
work,
see what
and then
can work out and get you up there, mate. Yeah,
I'll ask Roxanne to check her calendar as well, work mate, and then we'll have a look at
check with
booking
the
on.
boss.
No, it's always, isn't it? Always a boss. Yeah. So once again, mate, thank you. I appreciate you for coming on. So guys, if you want to head over to Liam's channels, you on YouTube, Liam?
No, not YouTube, mate.
You're
We're on
not. You're on
TikTok as
TikTok,
well.
aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah,
So, New Dawn Paranormal on Facebook, TikTok, guys. Head over, check out his clips. Some fantastic clips on there of evidence at Liam's course and his team, of course. Appreciate you for coming on, mate.
always, mate. Anytime.
Anytime, it's
Thanks for
a
having me.
pleasure. If you could just hang on a couple of minutes once we finish, mate, and
Yeah, no, isn't
that's it. But yeah, guys, go check out his Facebook page and TikTok. And once
it?
again, thank you for tuning in and watching this podcast and listening to this podcast. I do appreciate it. So thank you very much, guys. See you